Remember when we were young, and all we knew about cars was what we read on top trumps cards? We would compare the numbers, see which car was lighter, more powerful, and had the biggest engine. Some of us grew up and started driving cars ourselves, and the few that really enjoyed it soon realized something significant. We realized that the numbers are impressive to a point, but then something else happens. We fall in love with cars no matter how much you try to quantify their existence. And you'll only discover that once you're sitting behind the steering wheel, giving it the beans. Hi guys, welcome back to the Shift RSA. So today we're going to do something special. We've got two very rare sort of limited edition hot hatches that we're going to review. We've got the Abarth Punto Scorpione, and then we have the Renault Clio RS rb7, which are two very rare cars. You don't really get many of them, but basically today's whole theme is top trumps, comparing two cars. So first we're going to hop in both of the cars. I'm going to let the owners drive them, give me sort of the experience of owning the cars, and then afterwards I'll be driving them and I'll be giving my input. We'll compare the numbers, the statistics, all of those things. I think we're here to see these beautiful cars in motion, to hear them, and to see what makes each of them special. So I'm gonna hop in that seat, Charles is gonna sit in this seat, he's gonna drive his own car, and he's gonna tell me what's cool about it, and then we'll go in Ian's car, and then I'll hop back in this seat in both of the cars, and I'll go for a bang up and down the road and give you my impression. Okay guys, so we're in the car with Charles now. I'm just gonna ask him a bit about the car, ask him why he bought this car, ask him what stands out about it. So Charles, tell us a bit more about your Renault Clio.
Yeah, so it's a 2013 Renault Clio 3 RS Red Bull edition. That I've never really been a small car fan, but seeing this car available for sale and then doing a bit of reading about it, only having 455 worldwide, only 20 of those being brought into the country, it was something that I saw as a bit of a passion project. Suspension obviously on this thing is incredibly hard, normally aspirated 2 litre, but the passion of this thing is just, it's a driver's car. It engages you. You go around a corner, you literally have to hold on. You know you're going to make the corner, but it's, you know, how do we not make this corner? That I think is more challenging sometimes than actually trying to make that corner.
Okay, so then tell me, what is the standout feature about the car? Because you own the car and you've lived with the car for a while, what is the thing that made you go, you know what, there's only one of these?
I think it's the passion of the drive. You know, I've owned a few other cars, and I've owned quite a lot of cars over the years, but this is so engaging. You know, it's you've got aircon and Bluetooth and everything. It's nice. The wipers come on by itself and the lights come on by itself. It's got keyless entry, but none of that actually matters once you've hit the start-stop button. Once you start going down the road at 200 k's an hour and a corner comes up, you definitely engage and you definitely feel engaged.
Yes.
And afterwards you're like, we did it.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
type of a thing, you know?
I know that feeling when you tell your car, well done, we did it.
Yeah, you know, I think that's the beauty about this thing.
Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you. So obviously I'm going to jump in. I'm going to go for a drive. But before I do that, let's hop in the Fiat quickly, and then we'll tell you guys more about that.
On it.
Okay, so as promised, we're in the Abarth Punto Scorpione. Did I say that right?
Scorpione.
Scorpione, okay. So tell me a little bit about this car. What is it and why do you have it?
This is a limited edition Abarth Punto in South Africa. We mainly got the 500s and all the variations thereof, and the 124. They brought in 10 of these, very limited.
Sure.
I bought this as a natural evolution. I mean, for many years I was a Uniturbo fanatic, and that's what I had, and that's what I was passionate about. Fell in love with the Italian, I suppose, their way of driving, the way that they put passion into metal, if I can put it like that. You know, the sheer driving pleasure.
That's brilliant. And then what about this car as the standout feature? Because we just went in the Clio, and what stood out for me and the owner about the car was just the way it handles. So is there anything like that about this car that stands out for you above anything else?
Well, yes, I mean it's got the handling. It comes with the Koni FSD shocks, and they really put their performance spin on, you know, the Punto platform. So, but for me, it's the versatility, I suppose.
Okay.
If I wanted to go put this on the track, I can do that. If I want to take a trip down to Cape Town with the car, it is comfy enough for me to do that.
And it is. I mean, I felt these seats, they're still buckets, but compared to the other car, these seats are a lot more comfortable for me. It feels like they actually allow you to,
definitely,
you know, to sit comfortably.
It's got the nice bolstering support, but it's not uncomfortable. It's definitely, they've managed to find that balance between sportiness and performance, but also comfort. And that, for me, over the 500s and the 595s, that is, because this is a smaller car, you feel a lot more, and it is definitely more, this is definitely more for the long road and more comfortable, if I can put it like that. The big standout feature for me that I really enjoy on a day-to-day basis is what they've done with the engine that makes this a little bit different. They've brought in a technology called multi-air, which kind of works like VTEC or the Vanos, but where that is mechanical, this is completely electronic.
Okay.
So it's a 16 valve, but it only has an exhaust cam. The intake cam is controlled electronically and hydraulically. So you can have, if you drive slow, the valves only open up a little bit, and you can hear that, and you can feel that it's optimized for fuel efficiency. But when you open it up, similar to that kick you get with the VTEC when you can hear it opening up, this is not RPM related or linked. This is throttle linked.
Okay, so input. So it can sense your urgency, and then it says, okay.
It basically adapts to the way you drive it.
Brilliant. Okay, well then let's feel it. Sure, no shortage of power.
Not at all. Another thing I really liked about the car, what immediately got me, is that a lot of the modern turbocharged cars, it's very gradual, the way that the power delivery is. They want to make the turbocharged car feel like a normally aspirated car with a gradual power delivery, just with obviously a bit more power. This is the old school Uniturbo recipe, where when you put your foot down, you can feel the boost kick in.
It's nice, and that's where the thrill comes from a turbocharged car.
Exactly.
Not necessarily lag, but actually feeling the boost come in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Actually feeling it come in, and then it gives you that kind of surge of power, and you get to, it's quite a thrill. I do agree with you.
Definitely.
Yeah. New cars tend to try and, I don't know what, they're trying to mask the turbo feeling, but I don't know if it's always such a bad thing.
No, I think if you make a car for the, for the everyday man on the street, maybe they don't want to feel that boost kick in, because it can be disconcerting if you're not a petrol head. But if you like that and you want that, then this car gives you that kind of feeling.
Yes.
And that's basically what ultimately sold me. Is like the day that I got the car and I got into it and I took it for a test drive. The moment the boost kicked in, it's like, this is that exact same thrill, that exact same feeling, and then I was sold. I had to have it.
Okay, lovely. Well, thank you for taking me for a drive quickly. Guys, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to hop in the Renault. I'm going to drive it myself, and I want to see if anything he said holds weight, and if I experience the same thing, and then afterwards I'll do the same with this car. So let's head over and do that quickly. Okay, so we are in the Clio RS, the rb7. Let's start her up. Let's see what she's all about. Keyless entry, keyless start. A nice little creature comfort in what is supposed to be a very hardened, sort of handling focused, track focused car. First impressions, very nice short gear throw. The clutch travel is very short, so you can already tell that they want your inputs to be minimal but specific. Oh, I love that exhaust note. Just listen to that. 2 liter naturally aspirated, very shouty. Oh, beautiful. Brilliant. So, as you guys will know, I have driven a Megane Cup RS 250, which I can tell these two cars were built by the same people, but it is a vastly different animal altogether. So I've said many times before, for me this is the perfect size for a hatch. The Megane was a bit big, I did mention that. A hot hatch for me, I think, needs to stay this size. If you'll remember the hot hatches of old, all of them were really small cars, and I understand the natural evolution of cars. They do need to get bigger, people's lives get bigger, technology gets a lot better. Bigger cars don't always mean heavy cars, so I kind of get it. Make no mistake, this car has legs, and it wants you to stay there between 5 and 7,000 RPM. I mean, it gets there fairly quickly. It's not like there's nothing and then it only opens up top, but that's really where the magic happens, and you can hear the exhaust note. Dare I say, it almost sounds like a motorbike, and it wants to rev. It doesn't feel like I'm straining the engine. It actually feels like it wants to go there, and then the moment you get there to that sweet spot, oh, she just sings, and it's brilliant. This chassis, man, I would love to meet the guys that built this car. I'd like to be there when they were testing and finding the limits of finding the limits of the suspension and the chassis and fine-tuning it. I would have loved to be there. It must have been such a sweet scientific moment as they found that perfect balance, because balance is really the word that comes to mind here. Bear with me, right? I speak in confusing metaphors a lot, but what I'm picking up from this car is balance, and I can't feel any difference between the front and the back of the car. It feels like I'm smack bang in the middle, and the car is rotating perfectly around me, and that's a very good feeling, because anyone will tell you if you go through any kind of corner fast, a part of your mind is designated to waiting for the weight to shift, or waiting for the traction to brake, or waiting for something like that. And in this car, it's almost like you get to relax a bit, because the car is saying, hey, relax, we got this. What? I'm ripping it through this corner, waiting for something to happen, waiting for it to tell me, listen, okay, we're going fast enough, but it's not. Sorry. the brakes are fine. They do a fair enough job of stopping you. The nice thing is, in a small car like this, your brakes don't have to be too touchy, because you're never really going to struggle to come to a standstill. Wow, can I just... naturally aspirated. This car was built for drivers. It was built for people who want to go fast. I am lost for words. This corner. I'm lost for words. I must look like such an idiot with a gaping mouth with nothing coming out of it because my mind is melting. How? I'm gonna say something and you're not gonna judge me. It's not very often I drive a car where it makes me feel like I want to cry. But I want to cry. It just... In the passenger seat, yes, I could feel it's quick. I could feel it handled brilliantly. I could see what Charles was doing. I could see that his inputs were matched by... a very beautiful sort of build-up of speed, but no one could have prepared me for what it was like to do it yourself. It's, how do I put it? It's mind-blowing. It doesn't look, from the outside, yes, it looks sporty, yes, it looks punchy, but my word, what does a Lotus feel like if this car feels like this? It's ridiculous. Remember, this is my first time driving this car. When I hit play on there, it was my very first time touching the steering wheel, making the car go forwards in any way, and I was able to do that. Top Trump's cars don't have a handling section. They have a weight section. My takeaway is brilliant, top tier, God level handling. And it's just fast enough. You don't need a turbo in this car. It's just fast enough. It's exactly the right amount of power for this car. Okay, you're an automotive journalist. You need to be objective. You're gonna drive another car now. I need a palate cleanser. I need to drive a Volvo or something before I drive the Abarth, because I need something that's gonna bring me back to earth and allow me to be smart and objective, and because this, oh my word. Okay, so now you join me in the Abarth Punto Scorpione. Scorpione. The Scorpion. Okay, so first impressions, definitely softer to the touch. Definitely less intimidating when you start driving. The clutch isn't that hard. It doesn't have such a short throw. The gear throw is a bit longer. The steering is definitely lighter. But having said that, I was scared coming out of the Renault that this car was going to feel a little softer. dynamically. I was scared that it was going to be underwhelming. I was scared that it was going to be, I don't know, less fun than the other car. But it's just a different kind of fun. And the handling, I mean, the handling is sharp. It's much sharper than I thought it was going to be. Not necessarily that I thought it was going to be a bad handling car. It's just when you come out of that Renault, it's hard to believe that something can be as good. But the Koni suspension in this clearly does the job very well, because I noticed when I started driving that it was every bit as direct. Yes, I've got a tiny bit of extra play in the steering wheel, but that's nitpicking. It definitely feels sharp enough so that you're not left wanting. It's a sports car. I can tell this car was built with pedigree in mind. It's not a normal Punto, so I can tell, and I'm very happy to report that, because I was scared. I was genuinely scared I was going to get in here and be underwhelmed, but I'm not. If we were playing top trumps, on paper, the Renault would be the one that's the sharper, you know, it's almost like a surgical instrument. It's almost like a scalpel. So precise. It's really, it's not that there's no room for error. It's just that it's so precise that there's hardly any error to be considered. It's so precise, clean cut, lovely, precise. Whereas this car, I'm going a similar speed around here than I did in the Renault. But it feels a little muted. Whoopsie, traffic. But it feels a little muted. It just feels like there's an extra layer of cloth on top of that speed. That's where it's different. Being a small turbocharged engine, or let's rather just focus on the turbocharged part for now. There is the boost. Okay, there's that torque, there's that when you get on the power, but you do sort of have to check where you are on the rev range to make sure you're not kind of at the far end of the spectrum where the boost runs out, and that you're not on the low end of the spectrum where you don't have any boost. My word! Sorry, I'm talking about boost, but I'm very aware of the fact that this car is handling these corners brilliantly. Same speed that I did them in the Renault. But why am I surprised? It's funny, it's almost like I'm going the same speeds, it just doesn't feel as fast. Okay, so, sorry, let me gather my thoughts quickly. Let me just make this digestible. So, the power comes in differently. It's boosted, okay? So, you kind of have to be right there in poking range. You hit it, you get on the boost, and then you kind of have to be ready for the next gear. You have to anticipate the boost coming, you have to anticipate it going, and then finding boost again in the next gear, which is something the Renault didn't have. And that's what's standing out for me. That's the biggest difference I'm noticing. Obviously it feels different in here, it looks a bit different, but the handling is surprising me, because I thought that was going to be the biggest difference between the cars. But it's surprisingly, it's brilliant. It's doing a very similar thing than the Renault did. It's telling me, listen, you're going too slow, buddy, there's more. Find it. Find the speed, or find the guts, and go faster. I'm actually getting that. And it's very sharp. And like I said, I was going the same speed, but it felt faster in the Renault. It's almost that weird sensation like when you ride a motorbike and you're doing 60, but it feels like you're doing 120. Oh, boost, baby. Oh, you gotta love turbos, man. Oh, you gotta love turbos. Oh, brilliant. Yes, okay. There's the difference. It's almost like the Renault is just like, listen, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go fast, we're gonna make noise, we're gonna be offensive, we're gonna be exciting, and the product is packaged that way. Whereas with this car, your first impression is, wow, this thing is stunning. Your second impression is, it's a hatchback. When you get in and you start it and you're driving a normal speed like now, other than the noise, the exhaust tone, it's a hatchback. It looks fairly simple in here. Yes, you've got the bucket seats, but it's very comfortable bucket seats at that. There's that whole classic Italian thing of, oh, we are out here having coffee, and then we are making love, and it just like, it grabs you by the hair and it just says, did I say making love? Sorry. It's very much I don't want to call it a blunt instrument, but compared to the Renault, it kind of is. If the Renault was a scalpel, this might be a butcher knife or a steak knife. Do you know what I mean? It cuts. It cuts. When it cuts, it cuts. It's not dissecting, it's cutting. It's what's the word? It's hacking. That for me is the defining characteristics between the two cars. Is this one does the vanilla stuff very well. You can cruise, you can drive fine. I'm in a Punto, and then you can do the Abarth stuff, which is literally a matter of shifting down and planting your foot and just holding on as that boost kind of, it gives you that, you know, that sensation of being pushed back in your seat. And the Renault didn't have that. Yes, it was fast, but it was kind of a thing of finding the power further in the rev range and then keeping it there and then holding it there. Whereas this one, I'm gonna boost, power, shift, boost, power, shift, boost, power, shift, corner, shift. Okay, longer gear, more boost, slowing down, shifting down, staying in boost, bam, bam. Am I making sense? So both of them are going fast, but in very different ways. The Renault is a Jack Russell. It's rough, it's hard, it's not trying to be a lapdog. It's just a Jack Russell on bath salts, and it's just, you know, whereas this car, same smile. Whereas this car is the poodle that's saying, oh, can I sit on your lap? Oh, let's hang out, tell me about your day. And then suddenly bites you in the neck. Go get a tetanus shot, you idiot. Did I say tetanus? I meant rabies. Sorry, rabies shot, not tetanus shot. Both cars equally fun to drive. The Renault definitely a more visual experience, but this one very equally easy to love. And I didn't expect it to do what it did so well. I'm so happy that I got to drive this car and the Renault. This is definitely, I know this one is going to go in the buyer's guide playlist of my channel, but it might as well go in the bucket list car as well, because you can say what you want, but Italian cars are so special. And the fact that this one is able to be so lovable yet so potent really speaks to the Abarth way of doing things, of taking a car that was originally meant to be, you know, tame, the people's car, a commuter, going to work and back, the dreary stuff, and then adding a bit of hot sauce to it and turning it into a machine that evokes emotion. And that's definitely what this car does as well. So even though it does it differently to the Renault, wow, what a thing to drive, honestly. And I think I'm going to end on that note. I've been really babbling on about these two cars, but I have to say that as always, I've had an opinion about them, and then I drove them, and then the opinion changed. And we could play top trumps all day long, and you can tell me one is quicker, you can tell me one is lighter, you can tell me one is this, one is that. But both of them have something special and unique about them, and you have to drive them to experience it. I think you could own both of these cars. I really do. From what I've heard from both of the owners, the ownership experience, which, as we all know, is different to what the car experience is like when you're racing and driving fast and doing all those things. But both gave positive feedback and said that owning the car has been as much joy as it is owning it, and that's very important. Look, probably not the most practical, either of them. I think you'd probably, if you want a practical, go for the Polo, go for the Fiesta, go for those things, get the small Kias and things like that. But look, if it's meant to get you to work on Monday, but put a smile on your face on Sunday, both of these cars do a bang-on job. As you guys know, I don't always stress about the small things, the legroom, the space in the back. I don't think anyone who's concerned about those things will even look at one of these two cars. So forgive me for not banging on about it. And like I've said in videos before, if you want to know those things, Google it. I'm sure there's some car magazine who started a YouTube channel who can go into those kinds of details. I'm sure there's people, I mean, we all know the Doug DeMuros of the world who really agonize about the details. But I've never been that guy. I've been all about the experience. And I hope you guys were able to see that experience in these two cars. Please comment down below if you've got a favorite between them, if you've driven either of them and you want your say, do it in the comments. I love chatting to people in the comments. People who have commented before will know that. So please let me know. Tell me if I'm being an idiot. Tell me if I've forgotten something. And then also, if I've earned a like, please give me one. And if I've earned your subscribe and you want to go on this motoring journey with me and watch me experience more cars and sort of bring them to you into your living room, please subscribe. And as always guys, until next time, be safe on the road.